Hello and welcome to the Outcast. I'm your host HC, and with me is.
Wolf.
And well, 2025 hasn't technically ended yet. We only have like 4 days left in the year, and happy holidays to everyone, by the way. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, or Yol even, whatever
Hmm.
you celebrate. We hope that you had a merry time with it, and that we hope also that your 2025 has been great. In terms of the general year, it has its ups and downs, but I guess every year does. But man,
It's a year that's felt like it's been far too long. I'm sure most people would agree.
really,
Yes.
uh,
This year has felt like it
um,
has been much longer than a year at times.
uh, I mean, I guess so. To me, it's kind of weird that it's already like 2026 is just a few days away. I don't know, feels odd, but
Mm.
anyway, regardless of what you feel about 2025 in terms of just being a general year, damn, was there a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff which came out. And I know I think I said it for 2024 as well, but this year felt packed. Like my backlog grew 10 and 10 times over, and it's already massive. Do you
I'm
agree with me on this?
No, I do agree with you. And I'm going to specifically call you out, motherfucker, because this is the Outcasties, so we have our top 5 lists here for you at the end of the year, and this motherfucker sent me more than a top 5.
Okay. So for the record, in case you're new here, welcome. Great to have you here.
Mhm.
The way the Outcasties work, and I think we're still tweaking it, though I think we kind of settled on a baseline, is that we sum up our favorite stuff from 2025. We have one category which is the stuff we didn't like the most. We have one that's like, yeah, I guess you existed. And then we have 5 picks for stuff we enjoyed this year,
Yeah,
or and honorable mentions. Now
yeah.
the thing is, sometimes I like to tie stuff over because there's no way I can sum up everything that I liked in one year, and especially this year there was a lot. But
Mhm.
this year I got a bit too choice heavy, and a lot of my entries this year are ties, and I am sorry about it. I am aware I am a terrible person for cheating, but you know what?
Paul,
My podcast, I can make the rules.
get in the comments, call him out for not following the rules. We should mention the only big rules here for us doing this are these are not in any particular order, and most importantly, have to be things that we have either seen, watched, played, or read that this year. They do not have to have come out this year, but we have to have seen, watched, or played or read them this year. Only
So,
other
on
rule is
that
that they
note,
have to be finished this year.
mhm.
That's why you're not going to
and
find Stranger Things on this list because technically it won't be done until
y-
the end of the year
yeah,
almost. So,
and on that note, I should stress we are approaching this a bit differently because for me, when it comes down to stuff that I saw in 2025 but didn't come out in 2025, usually I try to put those in my honorable mentions. This year, though, there was one, and I'll point it out. There was one honorable mention that I saw this year, and it didn't come out in 2025, which I was legit considering putting in the top 5. But I said, okay, you know what? I think other stuff from this year deserve it a bit more, but we'll get to it when we get to it. The other thing, I guess, by technicalities, I'm not sure how much it applies to you, but if a show had a season which came out this year, we can rank that season, not
yes.
necessarily the entire show. If it's not finished yet or something like that, I guess it's something that's worth pointing out. I'm not sure if it's relevant to you, but yeah.
Cough, cough. I have stuff on my list that uh, started coming out last year and finished this year. And I have something that came out this year but isn't technically finished because it still has another season to air. But
Uh, but
that's okay.
but there
But
was a full season
yes,
which came out this year. So
yes, it was a completed thing. Ultimately, though, I think something is worth mentioning. I might call HC out, and I think you should get in the comments and call him out for breaking the rules as well. But
I don't.
I do understand because I will say, yes, there is a lot of stuff that came out this year, but more importantly, There's a lot of good stuff that came out this year.
There you go. There was so much good stuff. And again, for the record, he knows some of the stuff I picked, but he didn't tell me if there's something that's both on our that's on both of our lists. I don't know what he is gonna be. I don't know what he picked.
I'll
He knows what
say
I picked, but don't say it. Don't say it. I
no,
want to
no,
know as we
no, no,
go
no, no.
along. It's
Okay,
probably
fair
fine.
enough.
But
I'll say it's definitely. I agree with a lot of HC's picks.
you see, was Walt breaking the rules, technically. So, but on that note, I guess we should also say, again, I point this out every year. There was a lot, and I mean
Yes.
a lot of good stuff in 2025. So if we didn't pick something, if something was left out, that probably means it's not that it's bad by any means. It's just that look at all this stuff. Some things were gonna have to be cut. It's just how it is. So, with that said, anything else you want to point out before we start with the bad?
Ah, let's get into it. Let's jump in there.
Okay, then. So, Outcasties 2025. First of all, the bad. Wolf, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, I've got an easy one for this one. This one was a little bit, I feel a little bit bad putting it in the bad slot because I don't think it's totally bad. I do think there is some good with this, but I have to base it on my feeling of the show overall and what I got from the season 2 of this show, which came out earlier this year. And that is The Last of Us season 2.
I kind of knew that we were gonna pick this, and as someone we did a whole podcast about it, you might hear us say it before, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, to be fair, as someone who played the game and also found the game disappointing, I think I even said I kind of prefer the season over the game thus
I do
far,
think
but
this is a good season, but it's the fact that I have to judge season 2 for what season 2 is, even if I know a season 3 is coming. That might make season 2 far better. As of right now, season 2 was definitely a bit of a letdown for me, at least, based off of one from what I saw of season 1 and coming off of that, because season 1 is just so well done. To come into season 2 and get a show that is okay and is still able to carry on some of that same quality, but then just the ending. I think the ending of season 2 just it leaves such a bad taste that it just
Mhm.
takes away from season 2 so much.
Basically like the game.
And I don't know if there's any way they could have done that to make it feel better. Like it is a difficult position I think they found themselves in. I do think they tried to do the best with what they could, but ultimately it still resulted in something that was at the end of it all started off fairly strong but then became fairly lackluster, unfortunately.
I guess I can kind of agree with that. Again, I don't think it was a terrible season,
No, let me be
and
clear. I don't think it was all that terrible either, but it was the biggest disappointment for me, I would say, coming off of
mm,
season 1 for this year.
okay. So the bad for me,
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Labyrinth. So you might know you've seen our podcast if you've listened to our podcast about Secret Level, the anthology video game show on Amazon. This is essentially this was teased in that show, and then Wolf
Yes.
told me on mic that this is teasing a real thing, which is basically a Metroidvania, uh, dark, gritty reboot
Pac-Man.
of Pac-Man. And like, come on, you can't tell
Wild.
me you can't listen to that description. Dark and gritty Metroidvania take on Pac-Man that just doesn't make you go, huh? And if you know me, you know that I love my bizarre things that
I
go make me
mean,
go,
you
ah,
you saw that episode for it. That made me go that was such a wild episode in Secret Level because
yeah.
it's like I'm kind of like the episode. I don't know about you, but it made me very interested in it. But I never did go out
There
of my
you
way to
go.
play the game. But I was always
That's-
interested. But I heard different things here or there. But it kind of died off very quickly.
So
I'm
not
curious
only
to know why this one's in bad for you.
So here's the thing. I wouldn't say that I'm a die-hard Metroidvania fan. Like I love Metroid. Metroid is awesome, and I played a lot of Metroidvanias in my life. But I would say that I like Metroidvanias, but it's not like something that's like, ooh, new Metroid. I have to play this. Not, but I like the genre. I enjoy it. And when you really think about it, Pac-Man, if you're going to turn this into something that's like dark and gritty, Metroidvania is the most logical option, honestly,
Hmm.
because what is Metroidvania if not a maze? What was Pac-Man initially? A maze. Makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah,
So I picked it up. The Switch 2 edition, by the way, they made such a fuss about it. So I picked it up, and listen, the point of a Metroidvania, at least at the start, is to make you feel hopeless. You are weak. You need to walk to gain that power, and that's fair. That's a Metroid works like that too. It's part of the feeling that you start off weak, but then you get these power ups, you get these abilities, you get this stuff, and you're like, yes,
sure.
now I can conquer everything, and I'm unfreaking destructible. That's part of the fun of it. But Shadow Labyrinth doesn't do that. I got 5 to 6 hours in, and none of the upgrades, none of the new abilities, nothing about this game makes me want to keep playing. It's the same slug, boring, frustrating to no end experience. And if I gave the game 5 to 6 hours of my time and I don't feel like I'm making any progress, like I don't feel any stronger than I was at the beginning. I don't feel like any of the upgrades really help me with anything. It's just a slog, and I looked it up. Apparently, the average time to beat it without any of the side stuff is like 25 hours. In 5 to 6 hours, I would be finished with any other Metroidvania by this point, and I
Mm.
don't feel like I even started. And this is not just you can say, "Oh, long game, you get the most out of your money." No, it's a slug. I
Mm.
don't feel like I'm making progress. I don't feel like I'm getting stronger. I feel this missed the point of a Metroidvania, and it kind of sucks for me to put it in here because I was digging the idea, but alas, the potential didn't come true.
So what you would say, from what I gather, is poor execution, but good idea.
Honestly, if the development team got another shot at it, I'm not sure how well this sold. So
Mm.
if if they get another crack at it, I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can learn from what the problems were, but
That's
can't
fair.
tell you at the moment. But to me, this was a very big disappointment this year. I am
Mm.
so and it pains me to say it.
That's unfortunate, but fair.
So moving on, we have the right, you happened category. This is a category that's kind of like you're not terrible, but you're also not all that great. We might some people may have even forgot that you happened this year. Do you have anything for us, Wolf?
I don't, but I would agree with your pick.
Because my pick is the How to Train Your Dragon remake. Talk about something that showed up. People talked about it for like what, a weekend, and then it disappeared.
Mm.
And honestly, short version, go listen to our episode about it. But to paraphrase, this is not holding a candle to the original. This
No,
is
no,
every,
no.
everything it tries to add doesn't really work. It has some good ideas that are not really executed well. Astrid was just completely botched in this version, and I'm standing on that. And it has nothing to do with the actress. It has to everything to do with the script, and just the fact that it's the same writer director kind of hurts it more for me. But it wasn't bad technically, kinda. It's just that when you need to put it up with the original, and you kind of have to, it's the same movie with the same writer director. There's no way you're not going to compare.
Yes.
It's not holding a candle. It's just not. And I'm not sure about you. I haven't seen this since it came out. I have been avoiding it.
It's not even that I've avoided it. like you said, I forgot about it. Like it came out, yeah. I see it, the image of it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that is a movie that I went to theaters and watched the second, the first time it came out, and I'm like, huh, okay. I mean, like you said, it wasn't bad per se. It was just forgettable, and I think that's just a worse position to be in, honestly.
Hmm.
If it had tried to do something wildly different and had been bad, well, that's fine, right?
We might have remembered it more,
Yeah,
honestly.
but the
But
fact that it came out and it wasn't terrible, it just was forgettable. It's just kind of like, well, it's just sad and disappointing.
and again, I think I said it a lot, and I said this in the episode too. But the fact that it's the same guy really hurts it more than it should, honestly.
I do stand by. I really, really hope. I don't think it'll happen, but I really do hope if they because they're going to do How to Train Your Dragon 2 live action. We know
They
that
are
for a fact.
filming it.
I
I think they're
really
filming it like in literally a month or something.
I really do hope that we get Dean's original vision for How to Train Your Dragon 2 where Balto is the
I
villain.
am.
I
We talked about
really
this too.
hope, but
I am so with you on this. I hope for it, but let's be honest, they're not gonna do that. They're
if
gonna go
they
for the
do though,
safe.
even if it's terrible, I will stand by you on that one, Dean. Let's go for it. But yeah, as it stands, the first film is just eh. It happened. It existed. It's not.
The
I
remake, we should stress.
Yeah, this is true. I'm not overly fond of it. I'm not underly fond of it. I guess it happened.
It, it happened. It, as the title of this category says, you happened. Go you. Now get the hell out.
Mm.
Anyway, moving on to our actual countdown.
Hmm.
Number five, Wolf. I'm giving you the top billing. Start us off.
Number 5 for me. So I gotta say, as mentioned before, this was an extremely hard list to do. There were quite a few vying for different spots in this list. And this one almost would not have made it, but it finished. I want to say, I'm going to check and make sure, but I believe it finished quite literally this Wednesday. I'm going to check and make sure real quick by going to
Well, by the
Amazon
time you check
because
it,
that's where it released.
so mind telling us what it is?
Yeah, it finished not this Wednesday, but it did finish close to it. But it did finish this week, I should say. Drum roll please, it is The Mighty Nine.
Yeah, this is something that's on my list to do, and on our list of podcast.
Yes.
This is from the Vox Machina people, right?
Yes, this is Critical Role's other show that aired its first season this year and just finished this year, The Mighty Nine. I have enjoyed it quite a lot. I would say that as someone who liked Vox Machina and think Vox Machina was quite good, I enjoy. I would say personally, for me at least, I like the Mighty Nine's first season a lot more than I did the first season of Vox Machina.
Interesting for me.
Because to me at least, the Mighty Nine feels if I had to summarize it, I would say the Vox Machina feels like we're going on an adventure, and you can kind of tell that that's like what's coming with that, the ups and downs, and it definitely feels like we're going on an adventure and we're doing that. Okay, let's go, let's have fun. The Mighty Nine, we're not going on an adventure. This is to me feels far more grounded than Vox Machina, far more gritty in some ways as well, which
Okay,
I didn't
interesting.
expect coming into it because considering what Vox Machina is, I did not know what I was going to get from Mighty Nine, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay, cool. We are probably going to cover this at some point in
Hmm.
2026. So I'm excited to see it because
Yeah.
if you say this is a because Vox Machina season one I like just fine, but I think you can also listen when we cover that. It felt the weakest of the three seasons, like they were trying to find their footing. So
Mhm.
if Mighty Nine is better than that, I am excited to see it.
Yes, I would say it is personally.
Well, so for my number five, it happened for the fourth time in a row, and honestly, I was actually playing with putting this in honorable mentions, but then I figured, you know what? I think I think it deserves it. Number five for me, fourth year in a row, and if you know me, this is predictable as all fucking hell. The Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. Now, why just number five is because there was a lot of stuff going on with Sonic this year, which I'll
This
cover
is
in a
true.
bit. But it's just that the things that happened aren't necessarily like a, as big as like a new main game or the next movie or TV show or something. But what we got for starters, we had Sonic Racing Crossworlds, which just for one the best Sonic racing game out there. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I don't care if I think most people agree with me. And also, not only is it a fantastic racing game, which is so fun to play and has a lot of cool interactions with the characters, but also, can we talk about the fact that this got higher review scores than Mario Kart World? Can I point out how insane this is?
I mean,
What
you can.
universe are we living? I don't care about the video game awards. They can die in hell. They don't count for this matter. But at the same time, yeah, we live in a day and age where IGN gave Sonic Racing Crossworld a 9 and Mario Kart World an 8. What is this alternate universe? How did I end up in here? and and also not just the game, but all the marketing stuff that came with it, like the animation that there was, and all like just the characters just bantering and talking on YouTube that they did. That was really fun. And also, we have freaking Yakuza, Persona, Hatsune Miku, SpongeBob, Pac-Man,
Minecraft.
Minecraft, Mega Man, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar are coming to this. And also IDW characters in a main Sonic game. This is insane. This is pure insanity. And I was eating good with this one. I'm still eating good with this one. This is just a great
I mean,
package.
it's very cool to have that, and they basically, it is a little funny that they beat Nintendo doing this, and they stole from Nintendo's playbook from Smash Brothers, basically.
This People have called it. This is the Smash Brothers of racing games,
Mhm.
and you know what? Gimme.
Yeah, fair enough.
On that note, besides Crossworld, we also had Sonic Rumble finally launched. And again, this is not something that I'm that into. It's a Fall Guys with Sonic, and it's on phones. I don't really play a lot on my phone, but we got a Godzilla crossover in that. That's fucking awesome. You can't tell me that's not.
Fair.
I made it good. And again, and this is something we did cover on the podcast. Sonic teamed up with the freaking Justice League.
Yes, we
Holy
did.
hell! So
All of
again, it
HC's
might
interests
not be.
colliding in Sonic. It's not
Mhm,
going to be long, and it's everything Sonic all the way down.
mhm. So again, well, this is not again. There was no main game this year. There was no movie or show or something that's more my general expertise. But you know what? This is another year where it just feels like Sonic is on a good roll, and
Mm.
and it just feels good being a Sonic fan right now. That people see this and they're like, "Wow, Sonic is awesome now." And I say he always was. You just didn't listen to me. Now I'm the one laughing at you, and it's just so good seeing Sonic do so well. So,
Fair
yep,
enough.
that's my number five.
Fair enough.
Now to number four, take it away.
Number four. So, this one was, I don't know how to explain this one. This one was just really fun. Like, I don't think it stands out in any major way, but it was just something that I very much enjoyed. I loved the look of the show. I loved the the story of it is just fun. Like this one, I after watching it, I
Tell me the
actively.
name. I don't see the thing,
This is
so
true. You
please
don't.
tell me.
The name is Secrets of the Silent Witch.
I maybe you mentioned the name. It sounds I heard someone say it. I'm not sure if it was you or
I don't
but
know.
okay,
But it
carry on.
was very good. It was very enjoyable. It was a very fun, very adorable little story. It's definitely for those who might be familiar. I know HC may not, but it's definitely got some Bochi the Rock vibes for those who love their social anxiety MCs who just do not know how to operate within the world and be social, but they're learning, they're trying. God bless them.
Honestly, you
Even if
just
they're
got me.
miserable at it.
Honestly, you just sold me on this. I want to
Yeah,
see what
this
this is
this
about.
sold me on it too, and it sold me on it so much, and I enjoyed the story so much, and I enjoyed the world building of it so much that I actively went out and bought some of the light novels that the show is based off of because of it, because it's fun. It's just I love the world building. I love the animation for this show is absolutely beautiful, and it says something, right? Because this is on number 4 on my list, but it was so hard to make this number 4 because at least in the anime world, if you're an anime watcher, right, there were so many good shows that came out this year or finished this year, and it's like, fuck. Like the fact that like this one is as good as it is, I would say is as good as it is, and is probably going to be overlooked by a lot of people is sad, but it's there's such stiff competition this year in terms of just everything that came out, even just for anime and even just for anime. So, yes, Secrets of the Silent Witch. This is number 4 on my list because I want to give it the credit where it's due. It very much was the right show and came out at the right time, and for me at least, and I very much enjoyed it. So,
All
yeah,
right.
Secrets of the Silent
So
Witch.
definitely interested. You got me hooked. So far, both of your picks, and I'm interested in checking those out. So,
You're welcome.
thanks for making the backlog even bigger than it is.
You're
But
welcome.
but anyway, to my number 4, and this is the point where we start having some ties. So the way I at least approach that is that every number is going to cover like either something, two things that are in the same category. In this case, video games. So
Hmm.
for number 4, and I'll keep those two brief for the sake of it. So number 4, part 1, Donkey Kong Bonanza. I didn't expect to get a Switch 2 on launch day. It just sort of happened. Trust me, I know it sounds odd, but it just sort of happened. And I kind of knew at least that whenever I will get it, I'll have to get Donkey Kong Bonanza because I love platformers, I love collectathons. And when was the last time we had a 3D Donkey Kong game? The answer
Hmm.
is Donkey Kong 64. And
Been a
PTSD from
while
collecting,
for
yeah,
sure.
PTSD from collecting stuff aside, I was excited to to play this because it was also the Super Mario Odyssey team. This seemed to be like the Switch 2 killer app, and
It's
by
the only
God,
Switch 2 app. Cough, cough.
I mean, I heard that apparently the new Kirby Air Riders is like really
I
fantastic,
actually have heard that as well, I should say. That is
but
fair.
I haven't played it for myself yet. Maybe later. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, Donkey Kong Bonanza, such a fun game, tightly designed. Just the idea that you can break the entire level. Everything in the level you can essentially break. It's so cathartic. It's so fun, and this is the concept that they don't they do everything, almost everything they can do with it. They do with it. It's it's such a fun game, very cathartic. It's if you like collectathons, you're going to feel right at home. Donkey Kong controls great. The story, while simple, is still very heartwarming, very entertaining, and the final boss is also fantastic. The only reason it's not higher for me is that it does feel like it drags just a bit. There is a level or two I would have cut, but otherwise, great game.
Fair.
Now, for number 4, part 2, another video game, a pretty recent one. This came out of nowhere for me.
Mm.
Dispatch. short and simple, I love superheroes, and I love games where my choices dictate the story and can go in multiple directions. Ergo, this was an easy sell for me,
I
and
mean,
I may.
it's also been a long time since we've had a game that was basically like a Telltale game, basically, which is kind of what this is.
Apparently, from what I know, it kind of is because after Telltale shut down, this is the same core people from what I understood.
It is some of them,
So,
yes. It's actually
mhm.
funny. I believe they were working on like some of the Telltale games, and some stuff fell through. So like this is basically Telltale in the modern
Mhm.
day, and having played it myself, like this was definitely a contender for me to get on the list too. But it
Oh,
didn't quite make it for me either. But
so
it
now I kind of just have to ask, uh, Blunt Blazer or Invisigal?
oh, Invisible got 100%.
I am so pissed about that because you can't just give me the Supergirl like on the first episode and then just accept me to be like and then just throw Invisible at me, which is more my type of character, and be like, no, you can't do this. Yes, I picked Blonde Blazer. I
That's
know
fair
I'm a
though.
scam. What
I
can you
think
do?
I think they're
It
both
tricked me.
very good picks though, in terms of love interests for this game.
Yeah, but love interest aside, I just really enjoy the story. These are some great characters.
S-
Even if you've seen the powers
mm.
before, it's still a unique idea that
Listen,
how the superheroes work in this
it
thing.
says something that I've watched people play this multiple times on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that because it's just a fun watch, and I love how everybody's like, "Fuck you, Flambe," and then as it goes
Mm.
on, you're like, "Flambe, you're my fucking bro. I
Yeah,
love you.
that's
You're an asshole."
honestly, this is the second multiple choice
You know,
game in my
someone
life that did that.
someone
They
else
did it
mentioned
with
it.
Until
Like
Dawn too.
I've seen someone else mention this somewhere, and I honestly fully agree with it. Flambe is Dispatch's Rexplode, quite literally.
Yeah, again, I think this is another thing I heard. This is basically an invincible game, but just a bit more. But just I guess you could say a bit
Not as
more toned
violent.
down. What did you say?
Not as violent.
Yeah, tone down in the violence. Which, by the way, we are getting an invincible fighting game next
Yes,
year.
this is true.
That's pretty. So yeah, there's that. But otherwise, yeah, I really enjoyed this patch, and I'm definitely going to do another playthrough to make different choices, and not just for Invincible this time, but just in general. I really enjoyed this
Yeah,
one, and I
fair enough.
think you can see why. If you picked if you wanted to put it on the list, that means you see why I wanted
It's
to.
also worth saying too. This is basically another Critical Role thing as well, because
Yeah, I
all
was
of them are
actually
in
going to
this.
mention it. Yeah, I was gonna mention that a lot of the voice actors are the same. Yeah.
Let's see.
So, Wolf number three,
Yeah,
hit me.
number three. So it's shocking that this one isn't number three, and I think that says the quality of what's to come afterwards, because everyone's probably heard of this one at this point, because it won the most awards at the Game Awards this year. That's right. I'm being a vanilla bitch. Expedition 33.
Quick thing, I am not a fan of RPGs, ergo, this is not something that's on my radar because I know I have a bias against the gameplay mechanics, but I've heard a lot of good
I
stuff
I
about
think if
this.
you're
So.
not a fan of RPGs, I genuinely would recommend this one as a first one, because it's just so good. It
It's not a matter of the first one though. I just don't like the turn-based stuff. I can't when
that's
this is now it's your turn. Now it's the enemy's turn. Oh, you got lucky. I can't get into this, and I know
That's
this is
fair.
just a
I do
me
understand
problem.
it. I very much enjoy that they took the like the Paper Mario and Mario RPG mechanic of being able to eh, like do things during the enemy's turn, where you can reduce their damage by, if you're able to dodge or block their attacks, right? You can, like, if you mash the button perfectly at the right time and all that when they're doing their attack, It also a thing of much frustration. I'm sure we've seen many. I'm sure people can attest. They've seen many streamers and YouTubers fail at doing this and get very angry because this game is wonderfully designed and it definitely makes the enemies do their windups for about 5 minutes before they'll hit you. Sometimes just to fuck with you and your timing. Because why
Uh,
not?
well, fair enough. So
but
again, I haven't played this, but I heard a lot of good things.
But
So
yes, it's the story I think that is just so well done and so beautiful, and the music as well. It's just all of it just comes together to make a genuinely very fantastic and very enjoyable game. That even if you're not interested in playing it, I absolutely recommend go find a series on YouTube or whatever and just watch it. Someone else play through it because it's worth
that's
experiencing.
okay. Then I'll hold you to it. Anything else to say on it before
If
we
you
move on?
haven't played it, somehow go play it. If you have, it's very enjoyable and very fun. And that's
Mhm.
all that needs to be
Oh,
said.
and like you said, this is number three for you. I wonder what the other two
Yes.
are. So number three, another tie. Yeah, yeah, make fun of me. This time, movies, and this is a movie we talked about on the podcast. This is a movie we didn't. So
Hmm.
let's start with the one we did. Wake Up Dead Man, Knives Out Mystery. We talked
Good
about
pick.
this really relatively recently because
Yes.
it's a very recent release, but uh, honestly, having watched it again since we recorded, I still think it's probably my favorite of the Knives Out movies thus far.
I would
It's
agree.
it looks it, it looks incredible. The mystery is engaging. While the side characters are not as strong as the previous, and they get the job done. Benoit Blanc is still wonderful, and I loved him for for every second he's on screen. I just think, and for a movie that's 2.5 hours long, it flies by whenever I
Yes.
watch it. This is just a really well made movie. I love the Knives Out movies, and so for me to say this is the best one, that means something.
Yes. Agreed.
So now for number three, part two. This is very early in the year. Mickey
Yeah,
17.
I've heard a lot of different things about this film.
So for one, let's just get the obvious joke out of the way. You don't need to watch the 16 Mickeys before it to understand. There, done. Moving
Haha.
on. So anyway, this director has gone through from making a kaiju movie to making a political drama to a dystopian science fiction movie. He's done everything.
Yeah, running
Honestly,
the
go
gamut.
him.
Running the gamut.
Hmm?
Running the gamut.
Yeah. So make it 17, I think you could argue that the general idea might have been done previously, but this is such a unique take on it. This is a very interesting idea of what you can do with this
Mm.
technology and with this idea and with the idea of a dystopian future. And even the political tones which are there are actually pretty hammed up to the point that it's almost like it's a comedy in this sense. And the fact that I saw it early this year, right? This was like I maybe February, not February, but it was very early in the year, and the fact that I still remember it so much that I wanted to put it on the list shows how much it carries through. I really enjoyed this movie, and if you like science fiction and dystopian settings, I think this is one you need to check out.
This
Highly
one
recommend it.
this one's on my to watch list. I've heard a lot of different things. I've heard some people weren't that fond of it, but I've heard many people are extremely fond of it, like yourself. So this one's on
So,
my to watch list.
all right, awesome. That being said, number two. What you got?
Number two. I know HC is not going to agree with this one more than likely, and there might be others as well, but this show came out this year and it has stuck with me since. I very much enjoy what I would argue is an extremely unique premise and unique world. I don't think I've seen anything like it, and
Oh boy, I know what this is. I think.
yeah, it's right. I'm talking about To Be Hero X,
Of course. Well,
a
just
show
because I
we
don't
covered that
agree.
I loved our episode on because I don't think we really covered the show. It was mostly just HC going, what the fuck? A lot.
I'm still not sure if this. I think this was kind of intentional on the show's part, maybe,
And my part.
uh, but explain, please. I'm not going to take away
I
your
just
fun, please.
I mean, I think we would both agree this show is absolutely gorgeous and beautiful to watch. Number 1. I don't
Yeah,
think
that I
anyone
even
can
said.
disagree with that, right?
The style is fantastic. I will
I
agree on that.
I love how they use that style for different things they do within the show. And the fact that the switch from CGI to 2D and their use of 2D is very reminiscent of, American comic books almost in some of its shading and the way it's designed and everything. It just looks absolutely beautiful to see it all in motion as well. But then I personally just love the almost episodic nature that it starts off with, and it's very character focused, driven plot lines that slowly roll into this greater mystery that then you get to see the rest of the show play out in this connected consecutive story that it starts telling after the episodic nature ends, and it just flows so beautifully into from one into the other. And I just love, like, genuinely, it's just such a refreshing take on superheroes, so much that I would argue it's not even a take on superheroes. It's focused on something different. The superheroes are almost the background, in my opinion. Like, it's not really the focus of the show. The focus of the show is on, well, telling you, one, an anti-capitalist message, but two, very much a story of, fans and celebrities, and how those relationships can be in some ways very toxic, and how those relationships can so easily just be destroyed by one mistake. And I just love that it
So,
does that. I've just not seen a show that's told a story like that in recent memory, if ever. And I just love how unique its world feels, and how, in spite of the fact that it has a lot of extremely strange stuff in this show, like the fact that there's aliens in this show, that doesn't feel like a jump the shark moment in this show. That feels like, yeah, that exists within this world. I believe that, even though it shouldn't be that way. It ties itself together beautifully, and I cannot wait to see how this ends with season 2. I want to see where they're going. I want to see more of this, and I want to see how it ends.
mhm. Well, I am not going to take away your fun, but I do agree with some of the stuff you said that there are some interesting ideas within this show. I just think it's a mess in every other thing, but that's not
I'm
the
not You're
point.
not going to take away from my fun, but I am absolutely dragging HC back into this wild ride when it
Uh,
finishes up.
oh well, guess I have to prepare myself. Well then. Anyway, my number two, the final tie in this list, I promise.
Mhm.
And this one, TV shows. And again, we have one show which started this year, and we know he's getting a season two, and we covered on the podcast before.
Mhm.
And there's another show which, as far as I'm aware, is just it began and ended this year. And as far as I'm aware, there's no season two, but that can change. Anyway, the
True.
one we did talk about, long story short.
Oh
And
man,
to
this
keep
one.
to keep a long story short, because again, there's an episode, go listen to it. I think if you want a show that perfectly catches family and perfectly captures family, in terms of the comedy that can come out of family, the frustration that can come out of family, the sad and emotional moments that can come out of family, this is one of the best recent examples on how to just this to show a family that might not be functioning all that well, but they're still a family, and
Mhm.
how everything is connected to each other.
It
It's just,
it's a
I think
human story. It feels
yeah,
so human. And like
it
I know
feels
that's
very
such a weird like descriptor, but it does. It just feels so human.
it's a very human show. It's a very wonderful show. I laughed, I got emotional, I was invested, and the bit for me that kind of pushes it even further. This is a Jewish family, and as a Jewish person myself, it's nice to see a show that tackles this kind of family and doesn't really hold back with it. You get to see those holidays, you get to see those traditions, you even get to see the different, I guess, versions of Judaism, from religious
Mm-hmm.
people to Orthodox to people, to people who consider themselves Jewish, but they are not religious in this degree. You get all of it in here, but I also think it's done well enough that if you are Jewish, you're going to appreciate this, and you're going to know it, and you're going to point at it and go, "I know this. I've been there. This is amazing." But I also think it doesn't push it too far so that it would alienate someone who isn't Jewish, like Wolf, for
Hi.
example.
I mean,
Mhm,
it's a good look into that world as well from an outside perspective, which is just enjoyable. And
mhm,
again, I cannot stress this enough. It just feels so human, like the family aspect of it, man. You
mhm,
don't have to be Jewish in order to relate to how this family operates in some degree. I think if you even remotely have some similar family aspects, you immediately relate to how these characters feel about different family members and how these different family members interact sometimes.
mhm.
Just so much.
And yeah, so I think it's a great show about family as is, but I think if you are
And it's
Jewish and you are familiar with these things, it becomes, I think it adds something for you, but it's not to the point that it's alienating to anyone else, but it adds that extra flavor that will make you go, like, damn, they, even if I'm not these people, they got something out of me in
and
here, and the type of stories they tell with that.
I just want to
There's
mention it
one
too.
that's still, yeah,
You have it. It tells such a great story about loss as well, and how we all
hmm,
cope so differently. Like,
yeah.
continue on.
No, I just want to say the we talked about this in the podcast. You can go listen to it,
Hmm.
but there's one episode that the ending to that episode, I'm still thinking about it. It still haunts me. It not haunts me, but it still sticks with me in terms of what the specific holiday in Judaism means and how the episode uses it. It's just so well done.
Hmm.
Can't recommend this show enough. And I want to keep it short, but it's just a good show to talk about. And I'm really excited for season 2.
Fair enough.
Now, for number 2, part 2. So one of the things that I kind of told myself that I want to do this year, and I think I managed, is to try and see stuff that might be out of my comfort zone, like
Oh,
not necessarily
that's why
something.
that's this one. I'm so curious of this one, having seen it.
Okay. Oh, you saw this
No, I've
show.
not
I
seen
wanted
it.
to.
Having seen it on your list, I have no clue what this show is or what it's about.
Okay.
I've
So
just seen
that the
this
reason.
image of it that you sent me.
Okay, so here's the thing. I one of the things that I really want to do this year is to give a lot of stuff that I usually wouldn't give a shot.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And this could be like just an original idea. I saw a trailer. I want to go see it, or I'm gonna check it out. And I think I managed. Not a lot of those stuff are on the list because for reasons varied amount of reasons. But so the thing
Fair enough.
is, I I heard about this show, right? And I will say, technically, I started watching it because of an actress in it, and this is a story that's going to loop around. I promise you, I'm getting there. But I kind of just heard about this show because of that actress, and I'm like, okay, so she's in this show called Sirens, Netflix, 5 episodes. I think I can get this down easily. It's not. It doesn't sound like that big of an investment.
We should
And
mention
I just
that
kind of,
is the show Sirens. HC kind of just dropped that.
yeah, yeah. You did this before. I can do this
This
now.
is
I
fair.
can
This
make
is
mistakes.
fair.
So the show is called Sirens. It's on Netflix. Apparently, I just found out it's based on a play that I don't think anyone really heard about. But
I have not.
regardless of,
I didn't even know this
but
was a thing.
but well, but anyway, from excuse me, from
You're
research
fine.
I've done, the play, this has much to do with the original play as How to Train Your Dragon has to do with the book. So,
Ah,
take it for what it's worth. But anyway, Sirens. I came into this show wanting to step out of my comfort zone, and also because I know of an actress there. I and I just started watching it, and like first two episodes, I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be a dark comedy, and I'm laughing, I'm vibing with it. There are funny jokes. There is an interesting premise. The acting is phenomenal and everything. And then episode three happens, and suddenly I'm just into it. I'm hooked. I want to see what the fuck is going on here. Episode, I still stand. We are. I'm Episode 3 of this show is one of the biggest what the fuck in a good way I've seen in a while. That because this is the point. You know how some people say that shows jump the shark at some point? No, no, no. Episode 3 doesn't jump the shark. It freaking catches the shark and starts juggling it. It's amazing how much they
Interesting.
catch you unprepared. And then you kind of have no choice. Like I cleared an hour to watch episode 3, and then it's like, nope. And I just cleared 2 hours later that day because I had to watch episodes 4 and 5 immediately after. And I'm sticking with it. And at first, the ending of the show, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, but the ending kind of made me go, huh, really? That's how it ended? Weird. Not sure how to feel about that. I don't think I'm a fan of the ending in particular, but then I thought about it for a bit. And I watched the show again with my mother. And I'm kind of watching the show again because I want to make a review of it, but that's a whole other thing.
Mhm.
And suddenly, after a second viewing and after thinking about it, the ending hit me. The ending suddenly hit me, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's why this. Oh, shit. I still don't know if I totally agree with this, but I don't think I'm supposed to agree with it. This is one thing that I like this show is doing. It supposedly it gives you exactly what you need to know if you like some of these people or not. And if you do or not, that's completely up to you. But there's kind of this feeling that maybe you're not supposed to like all the characters, but you kind of do sympathize with them. And for the record, this show isn't doing anything special in terms of its message, right? We've seen shows about social classes and gender equality and all that kind of stuff. Again,
Mhm.
not going into spoilers too much, but there's something about this story, the way it's told, the way it's paced. This is a really good, well-paced show for the record.
Hmm.
And in terms of how the actors are performing it, and every the scenery, the metaphors that it's everything about this show just kind of clicks with me in a good way, which is weird and I know I've been going on about it for a few minutes, but it's weird to describe how well it works besides telling you go watch it if you are interested. And I know I'm not sure where I rank in my opinions. I know a lot of people like this show. I know I've seen some people that say it's not all that good. I personally disagree, but to me, I think this is one of my favorite shows, or maybe my favorite show this year, simply because I still think about it. I'm still piecing the pieces together. I'm still trying to debate about the ending. I'm still thinking about all the stuff that's been put in front of me throughout the show. And it's a really fun show to not just watch, but to also think about afterwards. And I love shows that can do that. So now the reason I was shocked that I thought that you know this, I considered doing a podcast about it, but then I said I'm not sure if this is Wolf's area, and I'm not sure how he's gonna take it. So I'm still debating on it, but I
Fair
had
enough.
to talk about it here.
Fair enough.
Look forward to the Sirens episode coming. Maybe I don't know. We'll discuss it off mic. But
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah. So anyway, I talked about this I think for way too long. But yeah, I just this is a show that left an impact on me,
No, that's
and
fair.
it's and considering again this is something that again coming into a show because of an actress, I think it's pretty legit, especially if it's not something that's your forte. So for something that I just kind of said, let's see how this goes, and just left it completely completely floored by it, I think it deserved a spot here. So that's my number two, part two. No more ties now, I promise. But I do have to ask you, What did my ramblings sound like to you as someone who has no idea what the show is about?
I mean, it sounds interesting. I'll say that.
Hmm.
I'm always interested in shows that can surprise me, right? So if this one can manage that, and it seems like it very much did that for you, I'd be interested in it.
Okay, then let's put it on the docket. Maybe we'll see.
Fair enough.
But so you may think number one is coming up next, but no, we have a few honorable mentions. Now, the thing is, I have two honorable mentions. Wolf, you said you had four,
Yes.
right?
So I'm gonna do two of mine to one of yours.
How about you just start with one and we'll go back and forth because one of them is gonna be
Well,
a bit long. So
one of mine is gonna be extremely short because we've already talked about it. That's right. Long story short, I this one
okay
didn't make it
then.
into my top five, but it was so close because it is just such a good story. So I'm not gonna go talk about it too much since we already have just a
Okay,
moment ago. But yes, long
all
story
right.
short, has to be on my honorable mentions list for this year.
So that's honorable mentions one for Wolf. So what's an honorable mention number two?
Number two for me would be, I'm going to say, uh, yeah, Blueprints. Another game that came out
That's
this year, a puzzle game specifically, and it's just such a good puzzle game. If you are a
mhm.
fan of puzzle games and you haven't played this one, go play it. It's so good. I'm not going to spoil anything about it. The way it tells its story to you is just phenomenal in the fact that it's all about, quite literally, for Blueprints, show don't tell. Like, it's been a while since I have played a puzzle game, or any game for that matter, really, where I had to have, like, here's my notepad, here's my pencil, and I'm writing shit down and connecting dots, and it's just you feel it's a game that, you know, you feel like a detective trying to find out and piece everything together and just going through it all bit by bit by bit. It's so good, just very enjoyable.
All right. I heard the name. Don't think I've seen anything of that. So on my list. On my list.
I recommend it.
So, honorable mention number one. Like I said, I usually, for honorable mentions, I do try to keep it to stuff I've seen in 2025 but came out before 2025. But this one I was actually considering putting in the top five because so the show is called Upright. And again,
Hmm.
for considering this is a show that again I kind of suffer the actress, and yes, this is the actress from Sirens. We're gonna look back to it. I promise you, we will. This just became one of my favorite shows ever. Like again, for something that I'm just like, okay, this is apparently the big break for this chick. Let's see what this is about. And damn, this show is great. And I'm just going to give you the very basic rundown that I give a lot of my friends. This is going to dictate if you're gonna love the show or maybe no, this is not your thing.
I'm listening.
Someone took The Last of Us and decided we're going to turn it into a dark stoner comedy.
Fascinating. I'm here for it.
You see, told you, and for the record, I said no. As opposed to Sirens, we're like maybe we'll consider. No, no, no. We are going to cover this show on the podcast, buddy. I'm telling you now.
Fair
We
enough.
need to find the right time for it,
I
but
mean,
holy
it
hell, we
sounds
need to talk.
fascinating. I'm here for it.
Yeah, so
A
kind of
comedy
like the
Last
last
of
of
Us where you're high. Interesting.
dark stoner comedy Last of Us. Okay,
Interesting.
for the record, when I said that, because the friend asked me, this has nothing to do with the post-apocalypse. With the post-apocalypse, there are no zombies of any kind, but you have a down on his luck adult who kind of had his life in shambles, and he meets this rebel, loudmouth, sarcastic teenager, and they just end up going on this long journey together. Only instead
Mm,
of America, it's Australia.
interesting.
See? Yeah. So I again, we need to. I need to talk about this in greater depth without spoiler, and with spoilers. But we're not gonna do it this here. But the two leads are great, and they have amazing chemistry. The jokes are really funny, and some of those jokes, even if you've seen them before, there's a new spin on them that makes them work that much better. The characters they meet along the way are all great. The just and the emotions in this show really hit. This is also a very emotional show, as opposed to, I think you might. The reason I say dark stoner comedy is because there's a lot of dark humor, and there's also a lot of drama in it. So keep this in account. But this is just a really well done show. And when season one ended, I'm like, this is a perfect finale. How can there be a season two? And while season two, I don't think it's as perfect as season one. Everything works. Everything about it that I may not have liked all that much comes full circle with the ending. The ending just tied the show together, and to be fair, for something that's again is essentially about found family and how you need to keep people that matter to you close to you and stuff. Again, not going to give much context. I just think it's a really well done show. Definitely
Fair enough.
one of those things that came to me out of nowhere, but damn, one of my new favorite shows. This is just a fantastic show. I'm so glad I got to watch it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And I got you interested now. This description never fails.
This is true. It's a good description. If it works, it
Okay,
works.
so to your two other honorable mentions.
Yeah, I'm going to continue on with the video game theme
Mhm.
and speak to something that HC briefly mentioned with one of his picks much earlier on in this very episode. Secret Level.
What?
Yeah, Secret Level is on my honorable mentions
Oh,
list. The
oh,
video
that
game
though.
anthology series that released
Yeah,
earlier
but
this year.
we covered. Yeah, but
You mentioned
this was not. This wasn't last year though.
no,
I'm
that was
pretty
this
sure
year. I'm pretty sure it was this year.
this. Oh,
Am I
maybe
wrong?
I'm
Am
just
I
confused.
dumb?
No, 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 no. Yeah, it was this year. My bad. My
I
bad.
got to make sure now.
I have this weird memory that maybe it wasn't this year, but damn, if it was, there you go.
No, it
This is just
wasn't this
your.
year. It
Oh,
was
you see, I'm not.
to be fair to me, it was extremely late last year. It was like in
Yeah. Okay.
December of last year. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think we
sneak
also
this one in.
covered that.
I'm gonna sneak
Yeah,
this one in.
no, but we also talked about it this year.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure.
early
So
this year. Early this year for us. Extremely early. So I'm gonna sneak this one in and count it in honorable mentions for me for this year because I came into it pleasantly surprised. I came into it expecting nothing and walked away pleasantly surprised. I did not expect some of the episodes to be as good as they were. Like the Amazon MMO episode for one. Like Elstrom Lives. Like
yeah, that was awesome.
it
That
was
was a
so
great
good.
one.
So
I
yeah,
have
this
no
one
interest in the game based
no.
on what you told me, but damn, that was good.
Yes, it was very enjoyable and very fun, and I would love to see more of this. I hope it gets more, and they're able to do more with other video
I
games.
There is a season two confirmed. I just don't think we heard anything about it
Hmm.
yet.
We have no idea what games might be in it or what they might be covering, but I am very much here for a season two. If they can make some of the episodes that I did not think would be that good still enjoyable and a lot of fun. Like, I mean, even the Pac Man one, which was basically just an ad for a game that came out not long after
Which,
the show, was
yeah, and
better
the
than the
game
game.
and yeah, the episode. Honestly, the game
Even though
didn't
it
do
was
the
a
episode justice.
complete fucking trip, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Pac Man?
yeah,
What? It was
and also
wild.
I still say the Mega Man episode still gets me giddy. That's still a good
That was
episode.
so
I
good.
love
Again, stand by. That needs to just be made into a show.
it.
Gonna be
Yeah.
real. Like,
There is a Mega Man movie happening, which we still know nothing about.
if it's anything like that episode, I'm
Mhm.
down. I'm here for it. But
Yeah.
moving right along into my final honorable mention, I'm going to talk about
Yes.
Clovatus. Clovatus. An anime,
Lovatus.
yes, Clovatus. An anime that came out
Okay.
earlier this year.
Mhm.
And this is just, again, another fun show. I don't think this one does anything to really push the mold, but it watching this show, the animation style for it felt like watching old anime again. And I mean like older anime in terms of like the 90s and 80s, stuff like that. It just has that feel to it that just strikes that right nostalgia chord. And it's just well done and good. It's just a fun story of a a fantasy world where humans and a bunch of other different fantasy races live in a area surrounded all on all sides by these dark monsters that are extremely powerful and they cannot beat or get out. And so they've come up with the tradition of, we're going to crown a bunch of heroes, give them some strong weapons, and say, all right, go out and fight one of these dark monsters and try and break through. And they do just that. And
Mm.
they all die episode 1.
Oh, awesome.
And our story from that point forward is the the title of the show, that character name, Clavatus, going out after killing all of the heroes and deciding, I don't know if I want to destroy all of humanity. So I'm going to travel around in the human world and find out what the humans are like. That's it.
Okay,
And it's
fair enough.
fascinating. It's lovely. It's just such a fun show. And just fun characters, like the fun dynamic of this monster raising from the dead one of the heroes he killed to have her travel around with him and be his bodyguard.
Huh.
Fascinating.
Sounds fascinating indeed. Okay. Another one that I'm interested in. There's actually a list. Holy hell.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
But your
So,
honorable mention.
my second honorable mention. This is a big one, so I'll try and make it short. Remember how I kept saying that there's this actress in the previous honorable mention and with Sirens that I'm gonna loop back to? I'm
Mhm.
looping back to this now because the reason I kind of came across this actress is because she's playing Supergirl now. Now, Supergirl in general is the honorable mention. Let's get this out of the way. Now, if you asked me, little HC, anything, what, for any opinion about Supergirl, I'll be like, yeah, that's Superman's cousin. She was in the animated universe, in the 90s, and she was in Injustice 2. She's actually the character that I didn't hate in that story mode. And I know she had a movie in the 80s and a show on the CW. That's all I could tell you about Supergirl pre July of this year. And then July came out, and I went to see the new Superman movie, where she had a cameo.
Mhm.
That cameo, to get it out of the way, is freaking hilarious. Just the
Fair.
way she just shows up hungover, asking for her dog, which the dog that was heavily in the marketing and we know as Superman's dog, and it turns out that he's hers. And the dog just slams her to the ground. She's laughing her ass off at it. And then all she says as she's living with the dog is telling Superman, "Thanks for watching him, bitch." Yeah, I mean, I again doesn't don't really know much about the character, but I'm not sure. I didn't know if it's like lore accurate or something like that. But for one, it made me laugh, and two, she reminded me so much of one of my friends that I kind of became interested. And what also got me interested is knowing that the next movie in this new DC universe
Is
is hers. It's
Supergirl,
coming out.
yes.
Yeah, it's coming out in June, and so I'm like, and people started talking. Oh, this is based on this one story called Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. I'm like, interesting, considering how much it reminds me of this one friend. I'll have to write it down to check out. I ended up picking up the comic when I was near a comic book store. Wow, this is such a good comic, buddy. I
Mm.
really enjoyed that comic. I know that it did a few things to the character that are not necessarily lore accurate, but it developed her in an interesting way. I loved her story. I loved her characterization. I love just this wasn't great for the reasons I thought it was going to be because it was like a western, which is odd. You think Supergirl or Superman in
Interesting.
general, you don't think westerns, right? Yet here we are.
I
And
mean, I can kind of see
and
it for like Superman since like Farm Boy kind of, right? But
And no, it's not
even
that. It's not
even the
that. Trust me,
oh,
it's
fair
not
enough.
that.
Fair enough.
And and the other thing
Fair enough.
and now I'm reading that comic and it's like, okay, so Supergirl doesn't just remind me of that friend. She is that friend. Like reading the comic,
Mm.
it's like if the character didn't come first, I would say they based Supergirl off my friend. It's pretty wild. and and then I'm like, you know what? I read this comic. I'm in the mood to learn more about Supergirl now. And that led to me binging the entire CW show, which first 4 seasons were great, I think. The other, because I know season 4 is divisive, but I still enjoyed season 4. Season 5 just goes completely off the handle. And season 6, I'll give it props for wrapping things up nicely, but it was still a slug. And it does kind of suck by the end that Supergirl gets sidelined in her own show, but that's not for this conversation. But I'm glad that I saw the entire CW show. I caught up again on her appearances in the animated universe. I caught up on my adventures with Superman. She was in the second season. I caught up on some other animated stuff she was in. I'm trying to catch up on more comics. I started reading the Supergirl run that started this year. There's a new run which started earlier this year, which so far is really enjoyable. I just became a big fan of this character, and I would even say, I think I even said it in a few podcasts this year, my new favorite DC hero. So just to sum up, Supergirl is the honorable mention across all versions. Supergirl
Fair
is
enough.
awesome, and she's better than her overrated cousin. There, I said it. Send the hate
Fair
mail.
enough.
I'm ready for ya.
Fair enough.
So, this was a long journey, but we are
Mm.
at number one. Wolf, give it to me.
Drum roll, please. Fuck, I don't know how to talk about this show, so I'm just going to say it. Say its name. Orb, on the movements of the Earth. This one started
Orb.
airing. Yes, Orb. This one started airing late last year and finished airing around March of this year. I didn't watch it
Mhm.
until a little bit while later, but wow. I, you know, you mentioned episode 3 being what really got you into Sirens.
I said this was the one that's like, okay, now I'm hooked. Like
Yes.
if I just enjoyed the show and was in for the ride up until this point, now I'm like sold. Give what do you have? Yeah,
I would
I
say the
understand.
same thing for this. Episode 3 is
Episode.
where I
Huh.
do not want to spoil anything, but
Mhm.
episode 3 is where, oh shit, all right, I'm in now. I want to see where this goes. If I had to describe Orb in any way, I would say it's a historical fictional drama question mark.
I
So
do want to ask because the name doesn't give me anything, and also I can't see the image that you are using. Is it live action? Is it anime?
it's
Is it
anime. This is an anime, to be
uh,
clear.
okay?
And it
Mhm.
is absolutely beautiful to watch. Number one, like again, just so many beautiful animations that have come out this year. But what I will say is that, based off of the title, if it doesn't give you any ideas, this focuses on the basically the discovery of the idea of the discovery of the fact that the Earth is not the center of the universe, right?
Mhm.
And it takes you through, quote unquote, not Poland, quote unquote Poland, and some quote
Okay.
unquote not historical figures, but historical figures, who
Mhm.
make that discovery, and not necessarily factually what they would have went through or dealt with in the time, the period that they would have been alive when this discovery would have been made, which is basically medieval time or around that area, right? But it,
Mhm.
it it details, like, what it would be like to have to deal with the church and basically, say something that is and would be at that point in time considered heretical, right?
Mhm.
Because the earth is the center of the universe. It was heretical to think anything different. But this tells that story, and it tells the story, I would say, of how the written word can absolutely outlast any legacy that we leave behind as human beings, right? And it tells that story so fascinatingly. And again, I honestly think that alone might be a bit of a spoiler for what will happen. But yeah, Orb on the Movements of the Earth. This is another one that I think I might drag you into covering because it's
I
just
mean,
so
it
good.
sounds it sounds interesting. Again, I like how in both of our lists have something that we're like, okay, we need to cover this one. This sounds
This is
interesting.
definitely
We should talk
one.
about it.
Again, I didn't finish it too long ago because I got to it a little bit late this year from when it came out. But I'm so glad I did, and I'm so glad I went into it with knowing nothing about it. I highly recommend if you watch it, do not look up anything about it. You do not need to be spoiled on this
Okay,
because
not gonna do
it
it.
is fully worth going into this one not knowing what's going to happen and
Mhm.
then be fully shocked by episode 3 and what it does because it is
All
so
right.
worth it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Or on the
So that
movements
being
of the earth.
said, so now for name number one, and please, Wolf, I have an introduction to this. Don't put the picture up yet. You'll know when.
Yeah,
So
okay.
for nine, my number one, this is a movie and a movie we covered. I I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know this movie,
What?
and but I
No.
found it. But I find it very impressive that it just went from being everyone's little soda pop to being everyone's idol. It lives rent free in everybody's minds. And if you once you know the title, you could probably tell why it performed a takedown on everything else on the list. It showed animation studios like Disney and Pixar how it's done. It's quite literally golden. And if you hear the sound of my voice, this is what praise sounds like. I am so glad I didn't write this down because I'm proud of myself for kind of nailing it. K-pop Demon Hunters is number one, bitch. Hell yeah.
I'm canceling you. That was all terrible. You're awful.
No. You're not gonna tell me this. This was half improvised too. I'm proud of
I
myself for that. You're not gonna take this away from me, asshole.
get off the stage. Boo.
I'm not on a stage. Screw you.
But no, I
Well,
do agree with this being a number one pick. It is an exceptionally good film.
so again, we covered this, so you
Hmm.
can go check that episode out for more detail. But why is this number one for me? Well, for one, it's a well done movie. I
Yes.
can talk for hours about how amazing it looks, the animation,
It's
mwah,
also
chef kiss.
original. It's an
Yeah,
original idea.
we'll get to that. We'll get there. The songs are phenomenal. Each song, even the one I like the least, is a banger. All the songs are
Yes.
just wonderful. The characters are lovable as hell. Zoe is the queen. I am not hearing otherwise. Zoe is the best,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
and and just it's hilarious. It's emotional. The action is fantastic. The message is really strong. Messages even,
Mm.
and I just can't. I just don't get tired of watching this film. It came out relatively early this year, and I watched it 5 times already. That's a record for me. That's like that's a record for me to watch something 5 times a year, and on the first year too. This is insane,
You don't get
and
bored of
you
it. It's
can
just
bet.
such a good rewatch.
That's that thing. I'm not sick of watching it. I'm pretty sure my next rewatch is gonna be soon, maybe even before the year ends. I have a few days,
Fair.
and also when they released it in theaters, like the single version, you bet your ass I got myself a ticket to see it. This movie was made for the big screen, and I'm kind of
Mm.
sad it was just shoved to Netflix first, but we'll get to that. But I'm so happy I got to see it on a big screen, and I'm so glad people saw it and took note of it, and it blew up, and rightfully so. The singing voices for the characters are essentially their own band now. They are performing live. I wish they would have performed other songs other than Golden. Golden is amazing, but like, let's spice this up a bit, please. and with everything we know that we're getting sequels and a TV show, and they even animated the characters just saying thank you for making the film such a hit. When does that even happen? Name another animated movie which blew up and they animated the character specifically to tell the audience thank you for supporting us.
Mm.
Never happened. I'm pretty sure it never did. Now, and talking about us, the one thing that really kind of shoved it to number one for me, that this was an original idea. And
Hmm.
when was the last time an original idea movie? There were things that caught on and became successful, right? But when was the last time an original idea, and not just that, a movie that wasn't even in theaters initially, was just put on Netflix without that much marketing also, I think, and it just blew up. It took over the world. When was the last time it happened? I want to say Frozen, and even then that kind of had the Disney brand to walk off of. This had nothing.
I mean, maybe Nija.
I guess, but even that, I don't think people talk about it as much as this, honestly.
This is true. I think this one has stuck around
Not to
for longer.
discredit, not to discredit Ninja, which
No,
I
they
guess
were
we also need
also
to get to because
also
we
good
tried getting
films.
into. Yeah, we tried to get to them this year, but things happened.
This is
But
true.
yeah,
But so, but
but yeah,
yeah, I agree with you. Like it's been a while since we've seen something that wasn't a completely brand new original idea just blow up like this. Not to say that they've done bad. They've been fine. Like there's been original ideas that have come out and been good even, but
mhm.
in recent
Like
time.
there
But
was always something that did well, but like there's a difference between doing well and just exploding to the point that I don't think there's a single person on this earth right now that doesn't know this movie, even if they haven't seen it, even if they haven't listened to it. If you show anyone a picture of Rumi, Zoe, and Mira, they'll know. Yeah, that's that Netflix movie with the pop idols. Yeah.
time to go digging under some rocks. Might be able to find someone.
Y- Well, that's the thing. You need to dig up after a few rocks, and like that's way more effort than it's actually worth.
Ah, as someone who also
But
lives under a rock, HC, that's not that hard.
well, you are an exception because you use that time to watch all of this anime and other stuff,
This is true. This is true.
and not avoid it. But yeah, and again, just back to it. I don't think anything else could have been number one for me because, for one, it's
That's
a
fair.
fantastic movie, and two, I just think that the cultural impact that it just had on the industry and on everyone in the industry, I think that alone kind of elevated up that even if it wasn't number one, it needed to be on that list. But to
Mm.
me, it is number one. I love this movie, and I will continue singing songs from it in my car until the sequel comes out, I suppose. Maybe we'll see.
This one
Also,
was.
I will say again, also one last time, Zoe is the queen.
I'll also add in that this one was also going to be on my honorable mentions list, but I didn't want to have so many, so I did end up cutting this one off the honorable mentions list because it again coming back to it, it was hard this year to pick five and stick with five, and it was
And just I think now that we kind of finished with the list, it was also really hard to just see everything. Like I am telling you because I'm kind of catching up on it now. I am pretty sure maybe Ghost of Utah would have been on my list, but I'm not
mm,
that. But I'm still, I think I'm still relatively at the beginning of it because I want to take my time with it and do all the side stuff too. That's just,
fair.
I feel like it. But that's also a fantastic game that may or may not have been on the list, but it's just a matter of time. We can't get to everything.
This is true.
So that I think now that all this has been said, anything you're excited for in 2026?
Oh man. I mean, I don't know if it comes out next year, but if it does, To Be Hero X season 2 and seeing that finished, I am very much excited for. Yeah, hmm. Long story short, whenever it comes out, it's season 2. That would be very enjoyable, very fun to see. Oh man, nothing that comes to mind immediately that I know for a fact is coming out in 2026. I'd have to look it up real quick.
Well, so I'll just say so like you said, long story short, season two. Obviously excited about that.
Fair.
Um, I think it's pretty. I think based on the praise I gave Supergirl in general earlier, you might. I am really not looking forward to the movie. I think it's gonna be. Nah, of course I'm not. Of course I'm looking forward to this movie. It's adapting the comic book that I read this year, and I love dearly. And I know that there are going to be some changes to it. I am open to it if it makes sense. I am excited to see, and also I know I kept looping back to the fact that two of the things on this list had this actress. I didn't say Millie Alcock. That's her name. So I she proved herself as a great actress. I am excited to see her in a full movie, and just yeah, give me that Supergirl movie. Excited about that. And in the still in the superhero area, Spider-Man Brand New Day, because Spidey is still my
Mm,
goat when it comes to superheroes. Um, I I think I'm excited more for this one, not because it's based on a comic with the same name, because Brand New Day isn't that worth noteworthy of a story, if you ask me, in the comics. But I'm interested to see how they're going to pick up from No Way Home, and especially when Tom Holland says that he doesn't want to continue playing Spider-Man until he's 30, and he's like a year away from being 30. I am interested in seeing where they're going to take this character, and
yeah,
also
because he's
Wolf.
mentioned wanting to pass the torch on to like his own kind of Miles Morales still, right? So I'm curious to
Yeah,
see what
so
they'll do with that.
I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do with that, if it's gonna happen in this movie or something else. And also, just want to point out there, Wolf, mass hysteria. We're getting a Spider-Man 4 movie. It only you know they
We
attempted this back in 2011.
This is
Holy
true.
shit!
They
We
did.
are getting a Spider-Man 4. What even? So I'm excited to see what they'll do with it. I honestly, a few friends are actually surprised when I say that I'm excited for Supergirl a tiny bit more than Spider-Man in this case, because I'm
I
not
think
sure what they're going to do with Spider-Man. But I'm still looking forward to seeing
I
where
think
they take
that's
it. And
I think that's fair though, right? Because Marvel has definitely been on the decline somewhat, and it's definitely taken some hits and put out, some less than stellar films here as of late.
yeah,
But DC, after having picked up James Gunn now with the new Superman film and just saying, "Hey, James Gunn, it's all you, bud. Take it and run with it." It definitely feels like they've breathed some new life into themselves.
yeah, so I
It
am
feels
excited to see
fresh.
So like I said, excited to see Supergirl. Excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Just there's something about Supergirl that I'm excited for a bit more, because also when was the last time we had a Supergirl movie? That was the 80s, and oh boy, that was an experience, all right.
I
So
I have.
other than uh,
Oh, you go ahead.
other
Sorry.
than that, continuing Marvel, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with Avengers Doomsday. I'm confused about it right now, but I think I want to see, because listen, all the teasers
I
they gave it with the cast, and now this teaser
I've heard ups and downs.
that Chris Evans is coming back. When earlier this year we had Captain America with Sam Wilson, and it's like, what are you doing? It feels odd, but I think the fact that they are so secretive about it, that's kind of what interests me, to finally see what
The
this movie
only
is even going to be about.
the only thing that
So,
I'm so like thinking about it. You mentioned the Spider-Man film. I am so curious about the Spider-Man film because I don't know if you know, but it's like the Hulk is going to be in it. The Punisher
yeah.
is going to be in the
Hmm.
Spider-Man film. I am
Yeah.
so fascinated about what they may or may not end up doing with that one. So
Well, again, and also the fact that they have another ginger actor, I for Sadie
mm,
Sweeney. I think that's no, I don't. No, I think that's her name. The one, Max from Stranger Things. Is that her
yeah,
name, the actress?
yeah,
Yeah. So she's there, and we know, and they seem to imply though that Zendaya is still there. So are we have? What are they gonna do with that? Again, there's just things that I'm curious about. I just need to see where this is going, and
yeah.
I'm
Fair
excited
enough.
to see where it's going because it's Spider-Man. But I also, I I'm also concerned, I suppose, but we'll
Uh,
see. And
that's fair.
I think
That
the
is
last
fair.
thing I will say, because I kind of have
Very, very
to
fair.
those of you who do the math, you might know that next year, Sonic the Hedgehog is turning 35. That is a big number.
Me.
And
I'm the same age
yeah,
as Sonic.
well,
Fuck.
it happens. Well, but considering this is like one of those anniversaries that 35 is a big number, right? It's like
Mm.
this another 5 years passed. And we got some hints that they have something cooking. I'm excited to see what they have in store for this anniversary, like because they already seem to be implying it, and with all the collabs and all the stuff that we got this year, I am actually excited to see what Sega has in store for the 35th anniversary. Is it the next mainline game? Is it something else? I bring it on. I am ready. And on that note, next year is also Sonic 06's 20th anniversary. So Sega, please don't troll us with anything about that.
No, no,
I
no.
beg you.
Re-release Sonic 06.
The only way this would work if they come out and say, that Project 06 that this guy and a few other people have been doing, which basically not only fixes the game but makes it amazing. We are releasing it on consoles officially now. That would
Nah, nah,
be
nah. Don't
freaking
fix anything.
no, like if
A
but
new
if they
generation
just
needs to experience 06 in all of its glory, HC.
no, 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 no. Here's the thing:
Scar
just
the
release the
children.
levels. Just release the levels. Don't expose people to the story unless you're
No,
going to
HC,
rewrite
that
it.
no, you have to expose them to the original story as it was meant to
They
be
can go to
told.
YouTube and look it up.
They need to experience it for the kids,
Then they
HC.
can go to YouTube and look it up.
These kids need to be traumatized just like we were back in the day.
They can go to YouTube and look it up. Anyway, I said I think I covered all the stuff that I'm excited for in
I
2026.
have
Let's see what the
two
year
I
gives.
have two anime that I'll bring up that I
Yes.
remembered. One, if you are within the anime sphere at all, you've probably heard a couple of talking heads mention this one once or twice. And I agree. I am very much interested in this one and what it might look like and what they might do. Witch Hat Atelier. I think that one is going to be potentially the one to look for next year when it comes to anime. And then, but it definitely, there are a lot of heavy contenders coming out next year, and one of those is Freerun Beyond Journey's End Season 2. So those are two that I
Okay.
am very much looking forward to, I will say.
Interesting, interesting. I think the other thing is I hope that I can continue my streak of watching more original stuff that might surprise me. That
Mm.
we can go to we can go to the next year's Outcasties, and I'll be able to come here and say, hey, here's the stuff we didn't get to cover, but I think I have to mention it.
Mm.
So we shall
Fair.
see.
Very fair.
So anything else to say before we wrap this up?
Ah, go watch something. Step out of your comfort zone. Go read something. Go play something that you would never do before. Try it out. Maybe you like it, like HC did. Maybe you won't, but that's okay. At least you tried. That's I think that's the takeaway from this year's Outcasties. Go try
Yeah,
something
I
new.
think try something new out of the comfort zone, and maybe you can come into stuff that might not be your cup of tea, but you can also come into you can also see something that you're like, wow, I never really thought about that, but you know what? This is actually really cool.
Hmm.
So you may never know.
Yeah.
So that means anything else to say?
No, it's been
So
a wild year.
it's been a wild year indeed. So That's all for this episode of The Outcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What were your favorite things in 2025? What are you looking forward to in 2026? Any was anything that was on either of our lists on your personal favorite lists? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team, and on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and maybe on 2026 we'll finally move into Blue Sky. I don't know. We'll see. You. So until next time, and I guess until next year, I was HC,
I was Wolf.
and we will see you all in 2026 with more, hopefully, more good media to cover. Take care.
Bye bye.